Straight to the papers now. Alitza is with us today. She's starting with some analysis after the announcement of the Iran deal, Alitza.
Yes, Stuart. Well, starting with the Financial Times that calls it a truce of convenience. And the paper reminds that a week into the US war against Iran, Trump promised, quote, unconditional surrender. But now he's presenting a deal that actually gives more leverage to the Islamic Republic. And the paper quotes Dan Shapiro, who is a former senior US official, who calls it a very weak deal for the United States. And the Wall Street Journal then outlines the main issues to watch to see if the deal is actually for real and if it's going to work out. So the first is, of course, the Strait of Hormuz. Will it actually reopen? A lot of things could happen between today and Friday, says the paper. Then we have the US naval blockade on Iranian ships. And the paper says that if it is actually lifted, Iran might be more likely to negotiate on different issues such as nuclear energy. And finally, Israel. Will it give the US and Iran the space to continue talking? And then I want to move on to British paper The Guardian that writes about the anger among some Iranian hardliners. And the paper explains that the deal does not guarantee sanctions relief for Iranians, compensation or control of the Strait of Hormuz. And responding to the hardliners, an advisor to the negotiating team said that Tehran hasn't been required to make any new commitments on its nuclear program, for instance.
Crucial point, of course, Alitza, is how Israel is reacting to the deal. What have you found in the Israeli papers?
Yeah, well, for example, right-wing Israeli paper Israel Hayom says that Iran never won a war but never lost a negotiation. This is actually a quote from Donald Trump from 2020. And the opinion piece says that any deal with Iran is worse than the alternatives because it establishes the legitimacy of the extremist regime and the outcomes make the Trump administration a laughingstock, says the paper. And then moving to left-wing paper Haaretz, and the headline here reads, humiliated by Trump on the Iran front, Netanyahu may set the Middle East ablaze. And the article says that the terms of the deal will unlikely match Netanyahu's promises to crush Iran. And the paper also reminds that elections are set to happen in Israel this October, and the Prime Minister will have to face his own promise. And the analysis says that he seems eager to take out his desperation on Trump, Tehran, and the wider Middle East.
Well, the announcement of the deal, a welcome surprise for Donald Trump's birthday, of course. We talked about that just a few minutes ago. Turned 80 on Sunday. What are the papers saying on this one?
Yeah, well, this feature article by the New York Times describes him as a man who is really uncomfortable with aging, but he's also facing a growing scrutiny over his age. So the paper cites a poll that says that nearly 6 in 10 Americans think that Trump is growing more erratic. And the paper also says that every time, every couple of days, if Trump doesn't appear live, people start questioning, is he dead? What happened to him? Maybe he just died in his sleep or something. But for now, he's alive and super healthy. At least that's what Caroline Levitt says. And to celebrate his birthday, many people wished him happy birthday. And of course, a lot of health online. And I wanted to show you a birthday wish by Jimmy Kimmel here. He posted it on Instagram. And that's a birthday card that resembles the alleged 2003 birthday letter from Donald Trump to Jeffrey Epstein. But instead of a beautiful woman, we see the body of an aging man. Could it be Trump? I don't know.
No comment.
No comment. And then let's take a look at another birthday wish, this time by Piers Morgan, who is known to be quite friendly with Donald Trump. So he posted quite a lot of pictures, more than 10, with the US president. And his wish is quite more friendly. He says, I've known you for 20 years and can safely say you're the most unique, resilient, energetic, and polarizing public figure I've ever met.
Yes, we've had our ups and downs over the years, he adds there. Speaking of polarising, Gwyneth Paltrow starred in a luxury Israeli real estate ad, and it's gone viral, hasn't it, Alitza, for all the wrong reasons, though?
Yeah, it's a PR disaster. I don't want to think about her media and PR teams because they're really struggling right now. And the advertisement went viral over the weekend, and people are calling it Gwynocide, which comes, of course, from a genocide. And Paltrow is backing one of Israel's tallest residential developments in Herzliya. Let's see if we can play the video here of her advertisement. This is it, like she wakes up
Not again.
comfortably in her
Who
residence.
decided morning should be so early?
She's complaining, early mornings, we're all struggling.
Even my coffee.
She's in
needs a
Israel,
coffee.
enjoying her
Waking up
luxurious
for a morning
life.
run can be
So the real
brutal.
estate company that owns it also owns a shopping mall in a Jewish settlement in the occupied West Bank. So you can imagine why it drew so much criticism online. People and like celebrities are openly calling it tone deaf, detached from reality, nasty, or simply stupid. The Times newspaper reminds that Paltrow is actually among the most prominent pro-Israel celebrities in Hollywood, and despite of like her popularity and like the fact that she's an Oscar-winning actress, many now are saying that she needs to be cancelled.
See whether it affects her career. Thanks very much, Alyssa, with the papers on France 24. That's all the